Welcome to Myk Aussie.tv, my international sports and sports comedy show. Let's talk Super Bowl 55. We are 8 days away from the big game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs in Tampa Bay. The first time ever that a team will play in their home field in a Super Bowl. Chiefs are favoured by 3. Now, before I talk about this, let's just talk a little bit about the last couple of weeks on Sports Rage Late Night Chat. There's been some trolls. I call them Jive Turkey Snowflake Woke trolls, keyboard warriors that go over the line. See, there's a point in time you just got to stand up and say this is enough, because these guys will tell lies about you. Imagine if some lady that I'm trying to do a business deal with in media or marketing or sales, if she starts to read some lies about me, I had to put a stop to it. Also, someone else was going in there as my name, my same name and picture. I got hold of that pretty quick, so yeah, I went a bit off, but got to control it because of these snowflake Jive Turkey tnuCs behind their keyboards under false names. It's a bad part of society and it needs to be sorted out. So that's that out of the way. Well, I had a pretty good week last week. I picked the Bucks over the Packers. That was never in doubt. In my mind, the Packers did drop a few things that they could have won that game. The Packers, whoa. Anyway, Bucks are in the Super Bowl. And let's now go to my MMMMM, my moneyline multi-margin mathematics equation. And here it is. Here it is, last year. I needed something to help me with my picks, and this is common sense. It's not too complicated. 9 days before the Super Bowl last year on Sports Grid, the morning after show with Gabe, Joe and Ariel, I picked the Chiefs by 10. No other media guys were picking 9 days out. They were all waiting to 2 or 3 days before the game. I said Chiefs by 10. Joe laughed, loved it, clapped his hands in Miami, said, way to go, Mick, good on you. Chiefs won by 11. Gabe said I should frame it, so I did, There we go. It's a bit of fun, but honestly, it does help. But turnovers is what can cost you, and turnovers can change Super Bowls, the results. So this equation is very sensible, but turnovers, like I said, that can be the big thing that can muck you up, and anything can happen in the Super Bowl, as we know. So let's now go to my equation for the Super Bowl. This is 8 days out. I was going to do it yesterday, but I wasn't on Game Time Decisions. I'm not sure why. I need to find that out. Maybe I did say a few things to upset some people, but no regrets. Okay, so item A, gut feel / my NFL knowledge. I am given 2 points to the Chiefs here. I think they will win, and the main reason is the one difference, Tyreek Hill. He has Olympic speed. He is amazing. I don't know how they can stop him, the Bucks defense. They need to. They need to do it fairly. They need to get into his thighs, give him a corky, put him down. No real dirty stuff. I'm not going to promote that. I'm not going to promote helmet to helmet. But if you can hurt him fairly, you got to put him down and try and slow him up, or maybe knock him out of the game with like I said, a knee to his legs or something to slow him down. No helmet to helmet. Can't say those things. Tyreek Hill could be the difference. I'll be putting some money on him on his over yards as well as a prop. I believe it's just under 100 right now for a prop, Tyreek Hill over rushing, receiving yards. So right now, Bucks are home field. They are -2 after item A. Item B, recent record. Well, that's not relevant. Item C, home field advantage. I will give 1 point to the Bucks here. As I said, they're playing at the home field for the first time ever in a Super Bowl. Thus now Bucks -1. Underdog. Item D, better quarterback. Whoa, this is amazing. This is the only item out of all these that you can get up to 7 points. Every other item is 0 to 3 points, and it's hard to get a point in my equation. Well, on this case, I will give 2 points to Patrick Mahomes. Normally, any other quarterback other than Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, Mahomes would get 5 to 7 points. But Tom Brady, even though he's 43, he's still commanding that offense and playing very well. But then you have Patrick Mahomes on the other side, hey? It's going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, it'll be too much talk about Mahomes and Brady because it is a team game, but you know what it's like in the NFL? The quarterbacks get all the glory, too much at times. Thus, 2 points to Patrick Mahomes over Tom Brady. Nothing against Tom Brady, legend. And check out my podcast from a year ago where I talked my 4 meetings with Tom Brady. I'll promote that this week as well. Hope you can listen. So that's right now gives the Bucks losing by 3, -3 on my equation. Item E, injuries / this year COVID outs. Well, a lot can happen in 8 days. We have problems on the Chiefs O-line. Eric Fisher, the guy that protects Mahomes, is out. Achilles problem. Bad injury, that one. We also have Gay, the linebacker, reserve linebacker. He doesn't play all the snaps, so he is out as well. For the Bucks, we have Antonio Brown, Mr. Facebook Live. Will he play? Bad knee, missed the game against the Packers. Will the little smart-ass play? Is it karma if he gets a Super Bowl ring? I don't think so. Karma doesn't always work. I try and like AB, but you just can't sometimes. But he's looking quick, and he could be a difference if he plays for the Bucks. So mainly because of the Eric Fisher injury to the Chiefs, even though Patrick Mahomes will still run around, I think it will affect it a little bit. I will give 1 point advantage to the Bucks at this stage on the injuries / COVID outs. But a lot can change. Now, what's the NFL going to do? What happens if Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes gets COVID in the next 8 days? What will happen? Will they not tell anyone? Will they suspend the game? Will they continue to play it without, say, Tom or Patrick? I don't know. We'll wait and see. A lot can happen in 8 days. Oh, by the way, the NFL, that's fantastic what they're doing. They're giving out 7,500 tickets free to the medical workers in and about America that have helped with the COVID-19. That's fantastic. Other tickets for the Super Bowl are going very expensive, between $6,000 and $10,000, I believe, minimum ticket. Wow, that's a lot of money, eh? To injuries, COVID outs, that will change in the next 8 days. Item F, current record. Well, that's not relevant. But hey, this is some of the trends that the guys talk about on Sports Grid. If I went with the current trend, apparently the team with the worst record during the season is 12-3 in Super Bowls. That's quite amazing, isn't it? Maybe because teams get on a run, but I'm not going to let that affect this equation. On the reverse, I am going to say no points in that item F, current record. I say it's not relevant for the Super Bowl. Coaching advantage, item G. Wow, this is very interesting. We have Andy Reid, the Spaghetti Man, Steve Spagnuolo on defense, and Eric the Enemy. Eric the Enemy. See, I told you he wouldn't get a head coaching job. They're not going to, hey, Eric, the new coach of the Houston Texans is Eric the Enemy. And some kid's going to sit back and go, I can't support the Texans now. They have the Enemy coaching. No, it's the Enemy, but sounds like the Enemy. But no, all the coaching jobs are now filled in the NFL. Eric the Enemy will be staying at the Chiefs, I believe. Now with Patrick Reid, with Andy Reid having a week's bye, he is very good after a week's bye. I'm going to give 1 point coaching advantage to the Chiefs of Reid, Spagnuolo, and the Enemy over Bucks Arians, the left-handed witch, and Todd Bowles. Yes, Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich, and Todd Bowles. Good coaching all round. We'll see who makes the mistake and who makes the good calls. 1 point coaching advantage to the Chiefs. Thus now Bucks losing by 3, -3 on my equation. Item H, record versus the Chiefs. Well, The Chiefs beat the Bucks 27-24 on November 29th. Too close to call, close game. I am giving no advantage to either team on their recent record playing each other. Bucks still losing by 3. Who my favourite NFLers pick? Well, I have some picks in already. Myk the Can Man, the Boston celebrity and a mate, he is going for the Bucks. Well, because he's a Patriots fan. Of course he's going for the Bucks. He believes they will get it done. My mate James, a racing truck driver buddy who is good. Some weeks he kicks my butt. Other weeks he goes a bit too overboard with roughies. But he is picking the Chiefs by 10. I believe Gabe is going the Bucks, but we're not sure on that. And also Hank, a guest, a Charger player on the show, he picked the Chiefs, but I will be waiting for CNF, Chris Sims and Mike Florio. I'll be listening Thursday, Friday morning to that show where they give their picks, and that will come into effect of who my favourite NFLers pick right now. No points either way. Weather advantage, item J. Well, who cares? No advantage to either team there. Turnovers in season/playoffs. This is very important. This can decide the Super Bowl. Turnovers at the wrong time, pick sixes, fumbles, interceptions. That is where this equation mucks up. The turnovers can totally blow this out of the water and change the game. But let's assume there's no drastic turnovers, and then this equation can still work quite well. Well, regular season, we had the Bucks at +8 and the Chiefs at +6 in turnovers. Last week, the Bucks had 3 interceptions, but one of them didn't matter. It's just Tom going for the long bomb at an unimportant time of the game. The Chiefs had a fumble and an interception, so too close on that call for turnovers in season and playoffs. No advantage to either team. Bucks still losing by 3. Item KL. Chance of a mental letdown/playoff experience. Whoa. I am going to give 1 point to the Chiefs here. They won the Super Bowl last year. Even though Brady and Gronk and some of the players in the Bucks have had a lot of experience, I will give 1 point to the Chiefs on chance of mental letdown, but mainly /playoff experience. No one should have a mental letdown in the Super Bowl, but also on that could be people going out and partying and misbehaving during the week, which is not really going to be relevant because there won't be any Super Bowl parties this year, right, because of COVID-19. So there we go. Bucks now losing by 4. Now my new item, I like this one. Item M, only for the Super Bowl, this one. Stronger, AFC or NFC? Which conference was stronger this season? I'm going to give 1 point to the Chiefs. I believe the AFC was stronger this year. My racing truck driver, mate Henry, he agreed. Thus, my selection 8 days out from the Super Bowl, according to MMMMM, is Chiefs by 5. I believe the Chiefs will win by 5-7. It could go either way. It could be an absolute ripper, but without turnovers and major trouble, this could work out again, and hopefully it does. Enjoy the week up to Super Bowl. I love all the interviews on the radios as I listen to the podcasts all day. Fantastic stuff. Lots of great stories. Now let's go to my show from a year ago where I talk Super Bowl stories. It's as I grew up, then spent time living in Denver, Colorado, and that's why I'm a Broncos fan. And then my stories where I had media passes all week at Super Bowl 37, 38, and 39. So let's now talk some Super Bowl stories. Oh man, you guys know I love the NFL. Well, it all started for me back in Australia when I was in my teenage years. We didn't have cable TV. No one had cable TV back then. So there's 4 TV stations. So we got hardly any NFL coverage. Well, I used to like it. All my Aussie mates go, "What are you doing liking the NFL?" I said, "I don't know, I just like it." And it would come on Australia Day, on the Monday. It would come on, so I'd get to watch it. So my early recollections of watching Super Bowls was the 49ers, Joe Montana. So in a way, they could have been slightly my first team ever. And the Buffalo Bills losing quite a few. I remember the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys, and I thought that was funny. The Indians versus the Cowboys, Redskins versus Cowboys. But I loved the NFL back then. Then I went to live in Colorado. So when I'm living in Colorado, I helped out my boss Brian. We ride these snowmobiles, and he says, "Come and watch this football, this Denver Broncos NFL." I said, "Yeah, cool, I love it, it's good. That Elway is awesome." So yeah, really liked the Broncos after living in Colorado there for 6 months in 1991 and the start of 92 season. Then I came back and played Aussie football again, as we said there, South Gawler Lions 92 Premiership. So that was a great thing. And I'll talk a little bit about a little spiritual reminiscing later on to do with that grand final as well. So then I take a trip a few years later. I go to London, see my sister. Then I go to the Grand Cayman Islands to see Alison, the Aussie chick. And she goes, "Oh, Super Bowl tonight. Let's go to this bar." I said, "Oh, cool." And it was the Denver Broncos playing the Green Bay Packers. Broncos won. And I said, "Oh, this is awesome. Haven't watched any NFL since living in Colorado and having some beers with Brian." So the Broncos won that year. Then I moved to Canada. And again, the Broncos won my first year in Canada. Beat the Falcons. Smashed them. So the Broncos went back-to-back Super Bowl champs. Love that. Next Super Bowl, we played NFL. We played a football game on the Sunday with Pat Stud, Getty, and a few of the boys out there in Vancouver. It was fantastic. And got some footage of that. You can still check that out on mykaussie.com. You need Microsoft Media Player. Then after the football game on NFL Sunday, we went and watched the game at the Shark Club. And it was the St. Louis Rams defeated the Titans, the tnuC Titans. And that was the last time the Titans were in the Super Bowl. The Rams won just, led by Kurt Warner. And the Titans, well, they're a chance. They're a chance to beat the Chiefs tomorrow. So maybe the Titans can get back to their first Super Bowl since way back in, when was it, 2000? About year 2000. I've got it written down here somewhere. Yes, I believe it was year 2000. The Rams over the Titans. Well, then the next year I was in Calgary, watched the game. And then the following day, I flew out to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii, met Tom Brady, had media passes. As I talked in my first podcast, all about the meeting with Tom Brady and being on the sidelines with all the players and cheerleaders. So I don't need to go over that. And then Super Bowl really took off for me. 2003. The 37th Super Bowl. So Super Bowl 37 in San Diego. It was the Raiders versus the Bucks. The Raiders went in favourites. So I'm down there. Oh, this is fantastic. I had media pass for the whole week of Super Bowl. And some of you guys are wondering how the hell I got that. Well, I've done a few NFL games. Sidelines, locker rooms with Broncos and Vikings and Packers, Seahawks game. Done a Pro Bowl, couple of Pro Bowls. And then the NFL said, "Yep, we'll give this kid a Super Bowl." Myk Aussie, no, I'm not doing that. Don't ever refer to yourself as the third person. I mucked up then. Bad. So I got media pass Super Bowl San Diego. See what happened back in Australia. Don Lane used to do this half-hour TV show. He's a late-night guy like Jay Leno. He'd do a half-hour TV show of NFL. Well, then he stopped doing it. So no one in Australia back then was covering the NFL. So I sold myself to some high-up people at the NFL They love my Pro Bowl footage on the sidelines. They just said, look, Myk, you can show anything you do, but do not show the game action. So it was fantastic, and it's still up now. I'm allowed to show my interview with the cheerleaders, the players, everything right on the sidelines. So I sold myself to the NFL, and one of the guys that's still up on stage with Goodell, Mike Signora, he loved me. He even said to me at one Super Bowl, Myk, you coming back to Pro Bowl this year? I said, no, I can't this year, mate. So, yeah, that just shows that I sold myself to the top boys at the NFL, had media pass at San Diego Super Bowl. It was fantastic. See, the good thing is, guys, when you're international media, you get the media party on the Tuesday night, and then you get another party on the Wednesday night. You get the international media party on the Wednesday night. So it's great. Highlights of San Diego. Well, Global Juniors. I was filming the Global Juniors. Canada play well. US, Mexico, Japan, a few other teams. Darren Bennett, the Aussie, was there, so I interviewed Darren Bennett again. I did radio live back with Gabe Renzi on Team 990 in Montreal, so that was a hoot. I did some other radio stuff, and Media Center. Oh, the press conferences were fantastic. Shania Twain and no doubt Gwen Stefani. Gwen Stefani were there. So I got to film the Canadian Shania Twain, Gwen Stefani, and what else was there? And then the Cadillac press media conference was the MVPs, and Tom Brady was there. So as I said in my first podcast, I shook hands with Tom Brady during that and said, hey, how you going, man? You remember me from the year before in Pro Bowl? He took my business card, so that was cool. Emmett Smith was there. All these celebrities in the media center. And then game day. Who can remember this? Barrett Robbins, the center position for the Raiders. He went walkabout. Him and his missus go across to Tijuana, and he didn't make it back for training, so he didn't play. Crucial that he did not play, and the Bucks beat the Raiders. Upset. Felt for Bill Romanowski. Chatted to him at Media Day because I met him at the Broncos locker rooms. Again, you can see that video on YouTube where I'm in the locker rooms interviewing Evan McCaffrey, Rod Smith, and Bill Romanowski. So I had a chat with Romo at the Super Bowl. He's going, "How you going, man?" Oh, what a player, what a guy, eh? Bit dirty, but what a guy. And he's a star now on radio on the Jim Rome Show. He's fantastic. So that was Super Bowl 37. Super Bowl 38. Wow. I could spend hours talking about this crazy, great week. What happened? I came back from Montreal, just met Gabe at a road rage, got some decent investment money, fixed up my Ford Probe, put a new timing belt in we needed, and we took off. Gabe and Sean, they flew from Montreal to Calgary. I picked them up at the airport, and we gunned it to Houston. We get to the border down south of Lethbridge, and I got the states that we travel through here. So we're heading into Montana, and the security guards, the border patrol, we got in a bit of trouble. See, Gabe and Sean had all this radio equipment for Team 990, but they didn't have a permit for it. So they Border Patrol hassled us a little bit about having no permit for this radio equipment. And in my car, I had a BC license plate underneath my Alberta license plate. So, yeah, I was all good. I just moved back from BC and I didn't take the license plate off. So that was all good. We got through, but whoa, it was a bit nerve-wracking. I think they liked us and said, these Canadians and Aussies are going to Super Bowl. We better let them through. We had media passes, so all good. So we gunned it. We kept driving to like 2 in the morning, slept in the car for a few hours, got up, kept going, went through Wyoming, then Colorado. We drove past the new Mile High Stadium there in Denver. Gay wanted me to stop and look at it. I said, nah, we can see it. We can see it good enough from here. Because I didn't want to jump off the highway. You drive through these American cities, these big cities, and if you get off the highway and you don't know where to get back on, you can waste hours. You can waste an hour or more trying to get back on the highway. So Gabe was a bit pissed I didn't stop. I said, no, we got to make it. We got to get moving and get to Houston by Monday night. So then we went all the way through, and I reckon we slept the first night somewhere in Oklahoma, and then we gunned it, and we got to Houston. We went through Dallas, got to Houston on the Monday night of Super Bowl 38. So there's video up of the trip down. Funny stuff. Gabe, he was hopeless. He didn't bring enough clothes. He bought one pair of socks. He's getting blisters on his feet because he had no spare socks. Then he's trying to clean his teeth in the back of my car, and there's toothpaste all over the back seat. And it was still there when I got rid of that car. So it was a funny trip. And I'm sure you sports ragers have heard Gabe talk about the Houston Super Bowl many times. You know, Gabe's got an amazing memory with sports. I don't know anyone like him in the world. He covers all these sports. He's got an amazing memory. But I tell you what, his memory of Houston's not as good as mine, because sometimes I listen to his stories and I go, Gabe, that's not quite what happened. So anyway, he gets a few things mixed up. But it was fantastic. We got down there again. Media party Tuesday night. International media party Wednesday night for me. Only for me, because Gabe and Sean, they didn't have their media pass. Gabe got his media pass revoked because he didn't have proper ID. Can you believe this? He got on a plane from Montreal to Calgary, got across the border without proper media, and then he got kicked out of the media centre because he didn't have proper ID. True story. So we thought, wow, we can't do his shows from the media centre. The first night we did, and I was lucky, Gabe had Peter King, the champ, Peter King, one of my favourite podcasts, every Monday morning, first thing. Peter King sits up to 3, 4 in the morning. It's late Sunday night, Monday morning, and he does this amazing podcast talking about the games the day before. So I sat next to Peter King while Gabe interviewed him, and then we thought, wow, we need to get some help here. So this this female, this Koala, cool woman of America, she interviewed me for one of the TV stations or radio stations down there, gave me her phone number. I thought, we need some help here. So I called her up. We went out, and she helped us arrange some bars to do the shows, Sports Rage, late at night. Media Day, again fantastic, one of the highlights ever. My girlfriend reckons this is one of the best interviews she's ever enjoyed. I interviewed and was interviewed by Warren Moon, the Houston Oiler, Edmonton Eskimo legend. He also played at the Seahawks, the Cardinals, I believe. So that's still up as well. That was Media Day. Also got on the Score TV in Canada. Fantastic time. But we've got to tell this story. I believe it was the Friday night. We had arranged to do the show on Team 990 from this big sports bar out in the suburbs. And Roger Clemens had just re-signed at the Houston Astros. Oh, haven't they been in the news this week, eh? Oh, they're in big trouble cheating the Houston Astros. So Roger Clemens, he just re-signed and he was doing this tour of a few popular sports bars on the Friday night. I got to tell this story. So he comes in, Gabe's live on Montreal radio, sitting in the corner. Sean Starr goes up to Clements and says, hey, can you come on Gabe's show? He goes, nah. Clemens goes up on stage for like 30 seconds, says a little bit, and then walks out. And the crowd's in disbelief. So then I think, screw this, I'm going to have a crack at this. So I walked up to Roger Clemens, the legend baseball pitcher, not Hall of Famer yet, because he's apparent steroid use, allegedly, most definitely. I walked up to him. Hell, he's a big fella, eh? I reckon he's like 6'4". So I had my hat on like this, had my media pass hanging. So he looked at it. I said, "Hey Roger, how you going? Like, yeah, welcome back to Houston. Hey Gabe, he's live right now, Montreal Team Radio, AM Radio. Can you go on his show?" And he looks at me. At least he thought about it. Then he goes, "Nah." And he walked out these security guards. I was like, oh, what a prick. I heard he didn't like doing media, but what a golden opportunity. He could have did that, and then also the people in the bar would have listened and been happy. So he walks out disgraceful. So Roger, the sports rage dodger Clemens. Gabe gives me a bit of shit about how I don't know, whatever he says, but true, that is exactly the true story. I went face to face with the big fella. I said, come on his show. Anyway, I love giving him shit since then. Great baseball pitcher, but, Roger Clemens, eh? Well, he made up this word in Conquest. Misremembered. Misremembered? That's not a friggin' word. It's didn't remember or don't know. Misremembered. My God, what? I don't want to go into it. I don't want to go into it. So then Super Bowl, we're at the bar also, and the famous dribble on Dibble. Yep. We'd had a lot of beers. I was filming. Gabe interviewed Rob Dibble. I did a bit of a dribble. Got to own up to it. No food in it. Anyway, next day, Dan Patrick and Rob Dibble, they're doing the radio live, eh? So I walked up, wrote on the back of my business card, "Hey Rob, good to meet you yesterday. Yeah, been a big week. Sorry about that." So then Rob Dibble and Dan Patrick, all over America, talking about this Aussie and Canadian fella they met. Well, the boys in Montreal heard it and loved it. So that's some of the Super Bowl stories from Houston. Also, Media Day, again, had a acknowledgement. How you going, Tom Brady? Yeah, back at me. Mike Vrabel would have been there as well, the current coach of the Tennessee Titans, who might win tomorrow and might make the Super Bowl. He was there. All the big fellas, hung out with all them. Again, Global Juniors. Me and Gabe, we went and covered the Global Juniors, did some filming, did radio back to Montreal. Did some radio, I think, with Mark Stevens, QR77. Did radio. I did a radio call back to Perth. That was a good one. I forget who it was. I reckon it was Brad Hardy or someone. Did a call back to Perth. One to Melbourne. The one to Melbourne didn't go too well. Apparently they thought I was a bit over the top. That was with Ernie Sigley. Disappointing, so I liked Ernie Sigley. Apparently I was a bit over the top. Or maybe it's because I was from Adelaide, not from Melbourne. Aussies will understand what I mean by that. So before we go on to talk about Super Bowl 39, again, this podcast brought to you by MykAussie.tv. Check it out. It's a new website, TV station. Still got the old one up. And TotalCFL.com. MykAussie.tv, TotalCFL.com. And, of course, Sports Grid Fantasy Sports Network. Every Friday morning I'm on that morning after show with Gabe, Joe, Ariel, producer Sean. It's a lot of fun where I get to talk at all different sports, NFL. And from these humble beginnings of watching the Super Bowls back in the caravan tent at West Beach as a teenager, I now get to give the picks on Sports Grid Fantasy Sports Network. He started off as a bit of fun, eh? A few weeks ago. Check this out. There we go. My moneyline multi-mathematics equations. Well, now it's got all complicated. Not really. We keep it simple. And I've done well. So, I was in this competition, like I said, where I come 6 out of 71. And a few games I'm not sure of. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to get down and put a few things together and work out who I can decide to win. So it started off very simple, and it actually works. The first week, I had the Patriots over the Bills by 7, and they won by 7. We're at the Aussie party with the Aussie boys heading back to Australia at Hulky's place. I was standing there watching the game with Chook, South Australia fella, great fella. I said, oh, mate, I just picked the Patriots by 7 in this moneyline multi-mathematics equation I did for a bit of fun. And they did. They won by 7. I'm just howling, laughing, thinking, oh, I can't wait to talk about this next week, how I picked it spot on. So, yeah, now I'm a bit of a tipster of NFL, along with the Aussie footy, of course, every week. That's starting up in March. So there's a few other things going on, along with MykAussie.tv and TotalCFL.com. My regular segment every Friday on Sports Grid, New York TV, formerly Fantasy Sports Network. So that was Super Bowl 38. Oh, 38's my number on the back here. Can't show you. That's my Woodville Warriors number 38. So I was a bit, had a great time there. Oh, before I go on to Super Bowl 39, Gabe, he took a bus back to Montreal. Took him like 3 days. Took a Greyhound back to Montreal from Houston. That would have been hell. He's talked about that story a few times. Well, I headed off west. I headed to Phoenix, Arizona, where there's an Aussie football mini tournament, like 9-a-side tournament. The Calgary boys were there. And then I took off to LA because I nearly had a spot on Jimmy Kimmel. The sports booking guy thought I was awesome with my Pro Bowl stuff. So I met up with him, went to dinner. He took me for dinner. I got in the VIP area with Jimmy Kimmel. He walked past. I didn't meet Kimmel. But the night I was there, Warren Sapp was on. So I shook Warren Sapp's hand and said, hey, remember me? You grabbed the camera, the ABC camera at Pro Bowl last year, and you started filming. We were filming each other. And the big fella, Warren Sapp, he said, oh, yeah, I remember you, Aussie. So that was cool. Backstage, Jimmy Kimmel show. Anyway, I didn't get on. The producers said I hadn't quite done enough at that stage. But, hey, got close, eh? That was back in 2004 or something. So then I drove up from LA up to Vancouver, across to Calgary. And then I moved back to Vancouver after that. So let's go now to stories from Super Bowl 39. Wow, this was a bit different. I flew to Virginia, met up with a buddy, rented a vehicle, and drove to Jacksonville, Florida. Now, the reason I rented a vehicle and drove to Jacksonville, Florida, is because it's a small city. People, even with money, media guys, even with crazy money, had to stay like 40, 50 Ks out of the city. So you're wasting 2 hours a day on the road. I couldn't do that. That's 2 hours of time to meet people, produce shows, have fun, all that sort of stuff. I wasn't doing that. True story. I rented this vehicle. It was a minivan. I joined the gym and I parked this minivan in the media section parking lot outside the media center in Jacksonville. So I'd sleep in there. I'd get up early in the morning. People would be walking past. They couldn't see me sleeping in there. And then I'd go to the gym. And the reason I joined the gym was mainly to have a shower. So I'd do a few weights, maybe a bit of a run, have a shower, shave. Then I was back, 11 o'clock in the morning. I was ready to go. Back in the media center for all the events. Again, Tuesday night, media party. Wednesday night, international media party. Well, the Tuesday night was fantastic. It was at the golf course where they play it's like the 5th major, and they have this famous 17th hole. Yeah, Sawgrass. TPC Championship. Adam Scott won it one year. I think that's what it's called. So the famous 17th hole where you hit the ball over the water. So we get out of the media bus and we get a golf club and a ball, and we get to have a shot closest to the pin. Well, I went a bit short, eh? So damn it. It was still fun. Walked in the media centre. A few of the TSN boys were there. I think it was Jay Unright, I reckon, or Duffy. One of those guys, a few of the other Canadian boys. And there was a band playing. Hootie and the Blowfish. I was like, oh, yeah, cool, I've heard of them, they're good. Well, there's a big fella up there with a guitar as well, singing. John Daly, the golfer, was singing and playing his guitar with Hootie and the Blowfish. Jacksonville Super Bowl media party. Unbelievable, eh? The things you get to do. So that was a great night. Then the media centre, some of the interviews, the press conferences were again great. Again, Patriots were playing, so they were playing the Eagles this year. Acknowledged Tom Brady again. How you going, Tommy? Wave, how you going, man? Vrabel would have been there as well. Rodney Harrison would have been there, the champ. And went upstairs, more media people up the top. And I saw the Fox boys. Terry Bradshaw was there. Joe Buck. Well, then Joe Buck was walking around. I got a little interview with Joe Buck. Serious. I like him. Him and Troy Aikman, two of my favourite broadcast commentators on NFL. So I said to Joe Buck, do you regret saying what you did about Randy Moss and doing the moon? Because Randy Moss made out to pull his pants down on the goal line at Green Bay. And Joe Buck went off on the radio, on the TV about Randy Moss. I thought it was a bit over the top. And Joe Buck goes, nah, I don't regret that. I don't regret that. But hey, Joe's a legend, but I had to ask him because I thought he went over a bit over the top there with Randy Moss making out to moon the Packers crowd. So that was Media Day. International Media Party was again good. Did an interview with Detroit TV, I believe. Again, Global Juniors was fantastic again. Went to that, filmed that. And then another interview. This was fantastic. The press conference of the Black Eyed Peas and Fergie. True story. The video's still up. You can check it out. Myk but you need a media player. So I'm filming, standing in the crowd. Oh, it's probably like 50, 100 media people there. Fergie and the Black Eyed Peas, will.i.am and the others are up on stage there. And someone asked Fergie, is there going to be another reoccurrence of the Janet Jackson Nipplegate? And she laughs and goes, oh, no. And I said, oh, damn it. And my voice just carried across the room and Fergie starts laughing. True story. I got on camera. So I made Fergie laugh. That was fun. That was, she's beautiful. They had some good songs early on, the Black Eyed Peas. So the Patriots defeated the Eagles. The Eagles fans. I'm walking through the streets with a Denver Broncos jersey on, and these Eagles fans just give it to me, eh? You idiot, who you think you are? They're no good. I'm going, oh, okay, no worries. But a lot of Eagles fans actually drove down from Philadelphia and slept in their cars during the Super Bowl. So again, good trip. Something really pissed me off. I was meant to be on this TV show on the Sunday morning of Super Bowl. And I'm up in the chairs ready to go. And the producer goes, oh, sorry, not enough time. See you later. I'm like, you fucking prick. You fucking arsehole. I've come all this way. ready to go on, and then you turn around and say no time. I was like, so in a way that really annoyed me, and I could see why Americans get so pissed off with some of these TV producers that think they're shit hot. So yeah, that annoyed me. The other thing that annoyed me was some of the parties. They only had Coors Light. So I didn't go to some of these outdoor parties. I went to a pub. I wasn't drinking that Coors Light crap. Can't stand it. Terrible. Terrible stuff. Super Bowl 37, 38, 39. Had media passes for the whole week. A lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed my Super Bowl stories. Fantastic times, and hopefully I'll again get back to a Super Bowl. Well, the last few years I've gone to sports bars here in Edmonton, mainly the CBH and their beautiful big cold beers with a girlfriend. This year, unfortunately, we'll be at home. We have no choices. The sports bars and restaurants open up a day later, February the 8th here in Edmonton. So you know what? Unless bars are crowded and having lots of noise and fun, meeting people, doesn't matter. I'll enjoy my day at home with the girlfriend watching the Super Bowl. Now let's go to some betting terms. Betting for beginners, I say. Well, let's go for another one. Let's go. Fade the public. Fade the public, Teddy Covers and the boys say. I'm thinking, what the hell is fade the public? But to fade is to go opposite of a pick. So often they will say that the public is on the Chiefs, but the smart money is on the Bucks. I'm not sure with Super Bowl, but that's just an example. Well, then you fade the public, so you go against the public. But, you know, the public is often right as well. But there is also a lot of casual fans that will just bet a little bit. So fading the public is going against what the public say. So there's another one of my sports betting terms for beginners, because half the time I don't know what they're saying. I had to look up some of these terms myself. Alright, well, enjoy the Super Bowl, enjoy the lead up, and next week I will be giving my final prediction, but I don't expect it to change much from Chiefs winning by 5. We'll see how we go. Have a great week.